guys, so today in this video of the WCD2 video series we are going to be talking about our first topic, which is the JSP Expression Language, which is also short term for EL. So what basically is expression language? JSP Expression Language makes it possible to easily access application data stored in Java-based components. JSPL allows you to create expressions both arithmetic and even logical. Within JSPL expression, you can use integers, floating point numbers, strings, the built-in constants true and false for Boolean values, and even not. There are many implicit objects, operators, and reserved ones in here. It is a newly added feature in JSP technology of version 2 actually. Expression language is mainly used to eliminate Java code from the JSP. In general, to eliminate Java code and scripting elements from JSP pages, we have to use custom actions, which requires a lot of Java code internally in order to implement simple programming like if, switch, for, and so on. To overcome these above problems, we have to use expression language syntax along with standard actions, custom actions, and JSTL tag libraries. So we all know that we could use Java code inside a JSP, which is within a scripted tag and so on. But in some certain instances, it could get confusing to some users. So Java has introduced the expression language, which is a very easy method that the users could utilize it to get the job done of and simplify the codes that we usually take long time and code lines to get the job done. So basically, the expression language main purpose is to simplify the process of accessing data from being properties and from implicit objects, which we are just going to be discussing up front. So the JSP syntax of expression language. So the basic syntax of the EL is this right here. So it consists of the $sign incorporated with the curly brackets, and inside that we could contain our expression that we are going to input it. In JSP, whatever present in the braces gets evaluated at runtime, sent to the output stream. The expression is a valid EL expression, and it can be mixed with the static text and can be combined with other expressions to form larger expressions. So let me show you an example of how we are going to use this EL. So I'm going to create a new project. I'm gonna name it EL. I'm gonna finish creating our project. So here we have landed in our index.html page. I'm going to go and create a new JSP page named index. And I'm gonna finish. So right here, let me just show you a brief example of how the EL works. First of all, I'm going to put the EL syntax, which is the $sign and the two curly brackets. So now inside this we could do any calculations related, maybe logically or even arithmetically. So first I'm going to just give you a demonstration of arithmetic operation done. So I have added 3 plus 5. Now let's see if it is going to print out the correct answer and see if it works. here we have got a, so that means it works perfectly. And that is basically I have shown you with a brief example of what el does. So let's get on with our presentation. So moving on to the implicit objects in expression language. The expression language contains a large number of implicit objects. First of all, we have the page scope. It's the value set in the page scope is mapped to the name of the provided attribute. Then we have request scope. The value specified in the request scope is mapped to the name of the provided attribute. Session scope, it associates the value set in the session scope with the name of the attribute provided. Then we have the cookie. It links the cookie value to the same name provided in the cookie. And we have param. The request parameter is mapped to a single value. We have param values. The request argument is converted into an array of values. Init param, it maps the initialization parameter. And the header, it links the name of the request header to a single value. And we have header values, it converts the name of the request header into an array of values. Page context provides access to numerous objects, including requests, sessions, and etc. So let us get on to an example. So basically here the JSP compiler sees the dollar and the curly brackets form in an attribute. It generates the code to evaluate the expression and substitutes the value of the expression. So that is basically how it works. For I'm going to create a new JSP file, or I'm going to just take this JSP file and I'm going to create a form inside of it. And I'm going to set its action as send the JSP, and inside the form I am going to create, first I'm going to give it name. I'm going to give the input a name. I'm just basically going to give it as name for now. I'm going to add a BR, which is a breaking tag. Now I'm going to create a button. I'm just going to put an input tag and set its type to submit. I'm gonna set this inputs type to text. So here I have said that it needs to take the request to send.jsp. So I have not created such a JSP, so I'm going to create it right now. Created send.jsp, and here I have created it. So here I'm just going to print welcome, and because we have taken our we have set the request from the input tag, we can use el to get its data and print it directly in our JSP page. So how we're gonna do it is, I'm going to get the main syntax of our el, and I'm going to name param dot and I'm going to call the name of our input tag, which is basically we have given it name. So let's see if it runs and works or not, and let's test it out. So here is the basic form. I'm going to add my name here and I'm going to submit it, and as you can see it prints out welcome and printing out my name. So basically here this maps the request parameter to a single value, and the EL helps us print it directly to the user with just one scope, just like that. Finally, let's talk about the basic operators in expression language. The majority of the arithmetic and logical operations applied by Java are supported by JSP Expression Language. Just down below includes a list of operators that are mostly used. So these basic operators are very familiar when we are talking about programming in general. So when it comes to expression language, it's basically the same, but some operators have specific identification and roles they play when it comes to expression language. So the dot, which is used to get to a bean property or a map entry, we use this box brackets to access a list of array elements, and the normal brackets are used to sub expressions and to combine and to vary the evaluation order. We use normal brackets. Sub expressions can be combined to vary the evaluation order. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and all the other operators that are common, that we are all familiar of. So that is basically the basic operator used in expression languages and how they are used. So those are the main components that we need to discuss in expression language. So that's it for this video. Let's meet again in another.